So Instacart has now partnered with Wegmans. So now Wegmans is going to be picking most of the batches. If you have noticed, lately with Wegmans, you've probably seen people being trained to do Instacart. They had Wegmans shirts on and not really understanding what was going on. Wegmans employees are now doing Instacart batches for the curbside service that they now offer. It's a new thing. And it's going to really hurt us as far as us being able to get consistent batches, at least at Wegmans, the way it used to be the last 6 weeks, or 7 weeks rather. I've been able to just get consistent batches at Wegmans. And from time to time I do Costco or Acme or, some of these other stores, a Giant or a Rite Aid or a CVS or whatnot. But for the most part, I really enjoy being able to do Wegmans because Wegmans have one of the best layouts. Everything is inventory and specifically in a space. You'll notice that because you always, usually 99.9% of the time, get a location for anything that is inside of Wegmans that you're doing on Instacart. And you'll also notice that you might go to an Acme or a Giant or a Costco and not have really any locations, or sometimes just a few. And that changes, your production time drastically, because now you have to have knowledge, or you have to gain knowledge about any store that you're working, because of the fact that you don't have a location. So you have to figure out where something is, you have to ask someone, and you have to get acquainted, and just get it all situated so you can strategically do what it is that you have to do. That wasn't so much so at Wegmans, because with the locations, you can just pretty much go get items so much faster because you know exactly where you're going. And you just got to use common sense when you get there to find the item. And I feel like it's going to hurt us a lot with Instagram doing this partnership, because I think it will spread to other different businesses and whatnot, and just put a lot less batches on the board. Now let's talk about the batches that are available. A lot of the batches that I'm seeing, I'm not going to do. I'm not doing a batch where you drive 25 miles for $25 and I have to go get 65 items. Something's wrong. Either Instacart is not putting enough money up to cover the mileage and to pay reasonably for the batch, or the customer is not leaving a tip. Whatever the case may be, certain batches just don't fit within my criteria and my metrics for me to be successful and to be an independent contractor and get things done the way they need to be. You know what I'm saying? We are here to make a profit. We do have to make sure that we create circumstances for ourselves that allows us to do that, because if we allow all of the circumstances to be created by third parties or other people, you're going to have a hard time for sure. You got to have something under your control. So I'm not willing to take certain batches if it doesn't pay enough. I consider a lot of different things before I take a batch. I consider how many items I'm getting. And also, obviously, the mileage that I have to travel to deliver the batch, because you need to consider the fact that if you're going to deliver something 19 miles away and you want to come back to where you are, then you have to double that, because you have to go 19 out and 19 back. So that amount of time, if you're where I'm at, 1 mile is at least 2 minutes. So you factor that into how much you want to make hourly. So if the batch is paying enough for you to go 19 out and 19 back and to retrieve the items and deliver, then you take it. But if it's not paying enough, then you're losing money. For me, I want to stay right around that sweet spot of $30 per hour or more. Anything less, you're on the downward side, because expenses, time, goals, and everything else that is part of the equation needs to be considered. You can't just be out here wasting time. So saying that to say, sometimes I'll sit here and not take any batches because it just doesn't fit into the metrics that I created for myself. And then a batch will come that fits and I'll take it. And I'm still able to do what it is that I have to do. I'm not stressing myself out, because rule number one is if you take a batch that does not fit within what you need it to fit in, you're going to get stressed out. If you take a batch that's not paying enough, when you get in there and you start having any challenges, it's going to hurt so much more than what it would if you were being paid properly. So don't take a batch if it doesn't pay you the right amount of money. And just be strategic out here, because all of this is being done by strategy, and it's all set up and it's by a design. So you have to create a design for yourself, or you won't have one. You see what I'm saying? And then you're going to be complaining, or you're going to be upset. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that to say we must be educated. And this is part of your education, knowing that things need to fit specifically where you need them to fit, or else don't touch them. It's just not going to work. You know, just giving you this information and letting you know that Instacart is now letting Wegmans do some batches. Check the description. I'm going to have a link to the article, and give it a read. And from there, I'll catch you on the next video. Peace and blessings.